This anime tells the story of a high school student named Yudo who becomes curious about the truth behind urban legends. Somehow, he is able to move to another world and is dragged into a world that is very rich in the myths of Old Norse mythology. Armed with knowledge from his life in the real world and a solar-powered smartphone that he always carries, he is able to become a leader who leads many troops and many women in them. The beginning of this scene started with the war between the Horn Clan and the Wolf Clan. But this time, the Horn Clan managed to win. All of this is thanks to their patriarch or leader, Yudo. Yudo himself comes from the real world. He was deliberately summoned to Yggdrasil to save the Wolf Clan. Thanks to his knowledge of the real world, he was able to create strategies and successfully lead troops. He used a cross formation to attack the enemy. The cross formation itself is a formation created by Alexander the Great and Oda Nobunaga. Yudo imitated him and made it a strategy in his clan to attack enemies. Actually, Yudo also has a solar-powered smartphone that he brought from the real world. The smartphone is able to help him find information. The night before the war, Yudo looked for information about what formation would be suitable to use against the Horn Clan. Suddenly, the archers fired their arrows at Yudo, but Yudo's guard, Felicia, immediately blocked the arrows to protect him. Not long after, arrows from the Horn Clan soldiers were released again at Yudo. However, as the leader, she immediately took over and blocked all the arrows with a whipping technique, and the arrows managed to fall to the ground. Felicia herself is a special soldier who has magic and supernatural powers. She looks sexy and beautiful. Not infrequently, she is seen flirting with Yudo because she really likes Yudo. Not long after, the announcement of the Wolf Clan's victory was heard, followed by the Wolf Clan's flag flying. The soldiers cried in victory. Then their war commander, Sigrun, came over to Yudo and Felicia. Sigrun is a wolf girl who is good at fighting and is the war leader of the Wolf Clan. Because of her success and victory in the war that day, Yudo offered her a gift. However, Sigrun just wanted to be stroked on the head by Yudo. Yudo complied. Felicia, who saw Sigrun's ridiculous action, laughed at her and said that Sigrun looked like Yudo's puppy. Sigrun was a little annoyed. After fighting, they managed to capture the patriarch of the Horn Clan named Linnea. Yudo also offered Linnea a peace agreement and offered Linnea to be his child. However, Linnea emotionally refused until an argument broke out and made Sigrun emotional. She also told Linnea to be more polite to Yudo. Then Yudo again offered Linnea to be his sister. Linnea was unable to refuse, and for the sake of the survival of her clan, she accepted the agreement. At another time, they returned to the Wolf Clan city, namely Landvish City. Residents lined up neatly and shouted to welcome Yudo's arrival. Felicia also suggested that Yudo respond to the residents' welcome. Yudo understood and immediately took out his weapon, which amazed the residents. Finally, Yudo had arrived at the building that was their destination. But suddenly, two men came who turned out to be Yudo's uncles. Yudo, who was in a hurry, didn't hesitate to leave his uncle. Felicia took over. Yudo then quickly climbed the stairs and went upstairs as soon as possible because he had to charge his smartphone, which relies on solar power. After that, he contacted his friend in the real world, Mitsuki. He explains to Mitsuki that he will return. He also said that Mitsuki didn't need to worry because Yggdrasil was still in the world, but with a different timeline. The next day, Felicia and Sigrun were in Yudo's room to wake Yudo. They also brought breakfast for Yudo. Don't forget, Felicia also teases Yudo, but as usual, Yudo's faith is always strong. After that, they performed a cup exchange ritual to formalize their collaboration with Linnea. Then suddenly, at different times, they received news that the Horn Clan had been invaded by the West Clan. Initially, the Wolf Clan Council refused to help the Horn Clan because they felt that the Horn Clan was still their enemy. This then made Yudo angry. In order to maintain his cooperation with the Horn Clan, Yudo will still help the Horn Clan. In our initial scene, we are shown that the clan which is trying to control the Horn Clan is the Horse Hooves Clan. While planning their strategy, the Horse Hooves Clan suddenly came under attack from troops led by Sigrun. Seeing that his base was starting to be attacked with strange attack techniques, Yngvi the Patriarch calmed his troops so that they would not be afraid of the troops led by Sigrun. At the Horn Clan headquarters, Linnea's bodyguard reports that the Horse Hooves clan has been thrown into chaos by Sigrun. Linnea also acknowledged Sigrun's greatness because she could disrupt the great clan led by Yngvi. Return to the Wolf Clan base scene. After the debate between Yudo and the council, Yudo still made up his mind to help the Horn Clan. Yudo began to organize and prepare strategies for his troops. He ordered Sigrun to lead the Muspel squad with a Mongol formation B-formula, and then ordered Jorgen to prepare the main troops before dawn. Then ordered Ingrid to show Linnea the stirrup cheat for the cavalry. However, Ingrid seemed hesitant to show the cheat. But without hesitation, Yudo said that Linnea was his sister, so there was no need to worry. This immediately moved Linnea. After that, Linnea was ordered to return to the Horn clan and prepare her troops. Another time at the Horse Who's clan headquarters, Linnea's bodyguard reported that the Wolf clan would soon arrive. Linnea also led the troops to welcome him. Not long after, Yudo, accompanied by Felicia, arrived. When she found out about this, Linnea was very excited. However, instead of telling the troops to prepare themselves before the war, Yudo ordered them to eat. This surprised Linnea because the troops rarely ate before the war. However, Yudo explained that currently they were waiting for the enemy at home, so they had to relax and fill their stomachs when the enemy was hungry, which was the key to strength. He also added that if we are tired and hungry, then we cannot fight as hard as we can. This statement made Linnea even more amazed by Yudo. Yudo had ordered his troops to guerrilla a few days earlier to exhaust the Horse Who's clan. 3 days in a row, Sigrun also carried out surprise attacks. Yudo told Linnea that she didn't need to worry because on the day of the war, Yudo had sent his great war leader, Sigrun. Seeing the chaos that the Wolf clan troops were causing to his troops, Yngvi tried to find the weak point in the Wolf clan formation. After finding it, he invited his troops to attack the weak point. At first, they were overwhelmed because Yngvi knew the weak point of the formation they had made. When Yngvi started to finish off the left side of the troops, and before the troops were completely attacked, Yudo ordered Sigrun to face Yngvi. Yngvi himself was known as a very strong patriarch. Initially, they were even opponents before Sigrun took out her katana weapon and attacked Yngvi. She was also able to defeat Yngvi easily. Sigrun finally shouted to announce victory, and the soldiers cheered. Linnea collapsed and cried with emotion seeing that moment. It was thanks to Sigrun that the Wolf clan won the battle again and the Horn clan was safe again. She explained that a patriarch is not chosen from lineage, but rather from someone who has the ability and achievements to lead. However, Linnea was chosen solely based on bloodline. She said his father chose her only because she was the only child and therefore made her the heir. She was not an inheritor, but her father still made her patriarch. To protect what her father loves, she wants to protect the Horn clan by looking for a strong leader like Yudo. Felicia tried to invite Yudo to discuss it first. While wearing clothes for Yudo, she said that perhaps the decision to marry Linnea was the best because that way Yudo would be able to control Yggdrasil and overthrow the Horse Who's clan. Moreover, he could also approach the position of ruler of Alvheimr. She said that with this mission, Yudo would stay there. She was afraid that Yudo would suddenly leave and return to the real world. But Yudo said he wouldn't do it. He also asked Felicia to continue to help him. Hearing this, Felicia felt enthusiastic and happy because Yudo needed her. On the other hand, it appeared from a distance that someone was targeting Yudo. That day, Yudo carried out the victory ritual. After that, Linnea gave him a drink, but this made him awkward, remembering the incident when Linnea asked him to marry her. Then Linnea also offered Yudo pepper food. When she was about to feed Yudo, her bodyguard teased her that they looked like husband and wife. Seeing that moment, Felicia immediately came to Yudo and planned a tactic to make Linnea jealous. In the middle of the victory event, Steinpor suddenly arrived. This shocked anyone who knew Steinpor. Yudo also asked who that person was. Felicia explains that Steinpor is the patriarch of the Lightning clan that rules north of Vanheimer. Yudo was finally able to see the person he had heard was the king who had the heart of a tiger and the Dahlgrisir of Vanheimer. The Horn clan guards looked very emotional when they saw Steinpor's arrival. He asked what the purpose of coming here was. Steinpor casually said he had only stopped by to congratulate him. However, the guard looks very emotional remembering that Steinpor was the one who killed the last patriarch of the Horseshoe clan. But Steinpor's very impolite answer made the hoof guard even more furious. Steinpor arrogantly approached the horse hooves guard who was brandishing his sword. However, with just one flick, the sword was destroyed. Seeing Steinpor's abilities, Yudo looks shocked. Linnea explains that it is a unique rune capable of converting divine power into energy of destruction. He also has a magic where 2 runes are owned by Steinpor. That is why Steinpor is recognized as very strong and great. When Steinpor saw Yudo, he approached him but was quickly stopped by Sigrun. Steinpor, who had nothing to do with Sigrun, ignored her. Likewise, Linnea tries to protect Yudo. However, seeing Steinpor's impolite behavior made Yudo run out of patience. After asking what Yudo's name was, he left the Horse Who's clan headquarters. That night, Yudo was seen calling Mitsuki. Mitsuki looked very angry. She looked worried because Yudo hadn't given her any news for 3 weeks. Mitsuki asked Yudo to send a message to her. She cried in happiness because Yudo was still alive. Yudo told Mitsuki not to worry because he was fine. Then another time, while at work, Yudo was again approached by two unknown people. They are twin girls named Albertina and Christina. They are emissaries of the Claw clan. They came there to report that they had been sent by the Patriarch Buffett of the Claw clan to become Yudo's wife. But Yudo firmly refused and told them to leave. When Felicia and Yudo whispered, the twins heard and said that they were Einherjar. When Felicia told him that the two of them were important troops and would not be easily driven away and had good ability in finding information, Yudo held back and offered them to be his children. Felicia and Yudo were seen riding in a horse-drawn carriage driven by Christina and Albertina. Albertina seemed to take out her rune and surprise Yudo because she was going faster. Albertina explained that she had the Hresvelger rune, which could create a driving wind to speed up the train. Finally, they arrived at Gimmel, a fairly large city. The area is known as the Big Granary because the city produces a lot of wheat even before the harvest season. Yuto met his father and said he wanted to introduce a Norfolk crop rotation. However, his father said that this city had been ruled by the Horn clan for years, so their farming methods still used old methods. While still discussing with his father, Felicia suddenly came and told him that Linnea was there to meet Yuto. Then, Yuto met Linnea with Felicia. He asked why Linnea was here. Linnea said that she was walking around the city that was once ruled by the Horn clan, and her method was also because she wanted to meet Yuto. She then asked again about the marriage offer she had made. Suddenly, the twins Albertina and Christina appeared and said they offered Yuto to marry them to make Linnea jealous. They end up arguing over Yuto. To divert the conversation, Yuto asked again whether Linnea's purpose in coming was to find out about the state of the city. Yuto asked what was wrong, and Linnea said she was afraid that people would not recognize Yuto and might not fully accept their cooperation. Yuto admitted that this might be because the previous leader must have been very good at leading this city. Yuto also said that he wanted to improve their farming methods. He explained that he wanted to teach the Norfolk crop rotation method. After explaining it more clearly, Linnea gathered the residents of Gimmel. She invited them to try Norfolk's crop rotation. Linnea said that she had already talked to most of the important people in town. They have divided the places and commodities grown. Linnea also handed over a piece of paper containing information about the place and commodities. However, some residents are afraid that their crops will fail. Yudo also dared to guarantee everything and ordered them to start working tomorrow. Linnea tells Yudo about her worries. She felt afraid and didn't know what to do. Yudo also encouraged Linnea. He said steel that was forged hundreds of times would be much stronger. And tempering your mind and body over and over again is how you can become great. They gathered to discuss this matter. In the discussion session, Christina asked Yudo to send herself and Albertina to the Lightning Clan. Seeing this lack of confidence, Christina asked Albertina to show her skills. Surprisingly, it turned out that Albertina was a murderer, and Yudo was determined to send them to the Lightning Clan. At night, when they were planning their strategy, they knew that the Lightning Clan only relied on their pet Steinpor alone. Knowing this, Yudo wouldn't let his clan lose to just one person. The time has come for the battle to begin. The Lightning Clan troops began to look and strategize. After that, they enthusiastically started the war. The Wolf Clan discharged their arrows towards the Lightning Clan troops. That was because the Wolf Clan troops use iron weapons. However, Steinpor asked his troops not to be afraid and continue to attack. Seeing that his troops were starting to decrease, Steinpor adjusted his strategy again. He ordered Ingvi to attack from the left and Shalfi from the left while he would attack from the middle. Seeing this, Yudo ordered Sigrun to fight from the side, and he immediately faced Shalfi. Sigrun easily defeated him. However, when she was about to fight again, Steinpor suddenly came and fought Sigrun. When he felt overwhelmed, Sigrun finally withdrew his troops. After feeling victorious, Steinpor destroyed the Wolf Clan army alone, much to Yudo's surprise. Yudo told the remaining forces to retreat. However, Yudo ordered his hero Skarfir to fight Steinpor. A battle ensued and Steinpor was defeated. Seeing Skarfir, who was able to defeat him, Steinpor was amazed by Skarfir's abilities. He also invited Skarfir to fight another time. However, Skarfir refused and left Steinpor. Steinpor asked his troops to chase, but Salvi offered to chase Skarfir and ordered Steinpor to rest. Not long after that, Salvi suddenly informed him that Steinpor Fame's older brother had been killed by Skarfir. He was furious and invited all his troops to take revenge. He and his entire army went to chase the Wolf Clan troops. When he was about to cross the river, he was stopped by Skarfir, and they clashed first. After that, Skarfir left Steinpor by crossing the river. Seeing this, Steinpor invited his entire army to cross the river. However, because his troops had to die on the way, Steinpor faced 7 of Yudo's guards alone. What surprised them was that Steinpor's strength was no joke and overwhelmed them. It turned out that Yudo's tactic was not to fight Steinpor, but to trap him, so that he and his troops remained in the river area. They had prepared a wave of water from the river so that Steinpor's troops would be wiped out. Finally, the Lightning Clan troops admitted defeat. The territory was successfully regained by the Wolf Clan. Then Yudo called Mitsuki again and told him he was fine but had not found a way to return to the real world. In another scene, when Yuto and Sigrun are walking, Linnea runs towards them. Linnea congratulated Yuto on his achievements, and she informed him that Steinpor was still alive, but no one could defeat Yudo at this time. Then Sigrun met Ingrid to get the sword she ordered. When she saw the sword, she didn't look happy. That's because she feels that the sword was not made by Yudo. She felt that the weapons Yudo made gave her special strength. Therefore, she wanted Yudo to make a weapon for her. Not long after, Yudo arrived with Felicia. He was carrying a sword he bought from a merchant. Sigrun immediately took the sword and was moved to see it. Yudo explained that her sword was rough and the handle was damaged. But regardless of that, Sigrun was very happy to receive weapons from Yudo. After that, they would go to the bazaar together. Seeing many people coming to the bazaar made them happy. This means that what they have been trying to do has been successful. Because of Yudo's knowledge, now they will get big profits and the Wolf Clan will be richer. Even the poverty experienced 2 years ago is no longer felt. However, Yudo saw that the resources were still insufficient to utilize the money. Effie came to bring a drink for Yudo, but accidentally spilled the drink onto Yudo's clothes. She was afraid and apologized until she cried. However, Yudo, who was very kind, was not angry at her. However, Effie felt that she was not comparable to other managers. She says she wanted to return the favor because Yudo had helped her and her mother. Yudo offered snacks to Effie. This made Effie even more moved. However, before giving Effie a snack, Yudo tested Effie's reading ability. After she read correctly, she was given lots of snacks. Because she saw the Wolf Clan's low reading ability, Yudo was going to open a free school for the Wolf Clan. He believes that educating children with knowledge will produce better human resources in the next few years. However, Felicia looked sad when she saw Yudo's plan. This made Felicia think that Yudo would leave soon. Yudo dreams of the incident when he was first appointed as the Patriarch of the Wolf Clan. Initially, the one who was going to be the Patriarch was Lopter, but for some reason his father chose Yudo. Yudo refuses because he doesn't want to return to the real world, and being a Patriarch is not his wish. Moreover, he thinks he is just an ordinary kid equipped with advanced technology. He also asked Lopter to be the Patriarch because he was more worthy than him. However, Lopter thinks that all of this is just Yudo's trick. Because he was annoyed that his dream of becoming a Patriarch had been taken away by Yudo, Lopter tried to attack Yudo and drew a sword at him. But his father intervened and died. Lopter ran away. Before he died, his father told him to save the Wolf Clan. After everything had improved and he had to return, he was asked to make Lopter his Patriarch afterwards. Seeing Yudo delirious, Felicia immediately woke him up. Then the twins came to meet Yudo and Felicia. They reported that the Horsecliff clan had been defeated again by the Panther clan. The Panther clan itself has a strong cavalry army and iron arrow weapons. They also use archery techniques while riding horses. Even though such weapons or war techniques were only owned by the Wolf Clan led by Yudo, he thought that his technique had been stolen. The twins also suspected that the person who could imitate it was the young leader of the Wolf Clan who was not there. Yudo also suspects that Lopter is the person. Finally, Felicia said honestly that she had been sent a letter by Lopter some time ago. The letter said that Lopter was the Patriarch of the Panther clan and asked Felicia to join his clan and leave Yudo. Hearing this, Yudo felt that Lopter still had a grudge against him, but he wanted to send Lopter a friendly letter first. On the other hand, Lopter received a letter from Yudo written by his sister, Felicia. In the evening, Yudo contacted Mitsuki. He told Mitsuki about today's events, which might calm her down a bit. The next day, Felicia reported that the Panther clan had attacked the Horn clan, and the city of Murkveer had fallen. Learning this, Yudo mobilized all of his troops and defended the Horn clan. It is known that 3,000 Panther clan troops have gathered in the city of Murkveer. While discussing war issues, suddenly the Panther clan troops attacked. Even the Panther clan troops used counter and escape points like those used by Yudo when fighting the Horse clan. Unexpectedly, troops were targeting Yudo. Luckily, Felicia was quick to tell Yudo. After that, the war between the Wolf Clan and the Panther Clan continued until Sigyn advised the Panther Clan troops to withdraw. However, Lopter asked Sigyn to use her magic. Sigyn then used her magic to hypnotize the Panther Clan warriors so they would not be afraid of death. She also gave that magic to Yudo. The Mag troops began to tear down the iron boundaries of the Wolf Clan. This made Yudo immediately break through the Wolf Clan's defense. Lopter finally meets Yudo. He said he would finish off Yudo and take everything back. However, Felicia came to protect Yudo. This made Lopter draw his sword without thinking. However, Yudo quickly repelled Lopter's sword. When he was about to attack again, Sigrun suddenly appeared with her troops riding camels. This made the horses ridden by Lopter and his troops uncomfortable. This is what made the Panther Clan temporarily retreat. The school previously planned by Yudo is now operational. Effie also became one of the students there. However, it seems that Effie is not treated well by her friends. This made Yudo go straight down to check how Effie was doing at school. Indeed, she didn't seem to be considered because there was a queen who went to school and restricted other friends from being close to Effie. Finally, Christina had an idea to make Effie appreciated by her friends again. She and Albertina pretended to be students and took over as queen of the school. However, he asked Effie to be around them, so that his friends would respect Effie and be good friends with the queen. It turned out that this method worked and Effie's friends were starting to distance themselves from the previous queen. However, because Effie was kind, she still wanted to be friends with the queen. As the problem had been resolved, Albertina was no longer at school. Another time, Yudo asked Ingrid for help to teach him to use blacksmith tools. He wanted to make a gift with his own hands because it would be Felicia and Sigrun's birthday soon. Knowing this, Ingrid seemed annoyed that something unimportant like that had to cost her a day off. Then she was forced to help Yudo because Yudo wanted to make it with his own hands. Then Ingrid told him to blow on the heater. Because Yudo's trick was wrong, while teasing him, Ingrid hugged Yudo from behind and taught him. And Yudo doesn't care about Ingrid because he thinks Ingrid is too macho. Ingrid immediately threw her fist at Yudo. As a thank you, Yudo gave Ingrid a necklace called Magatama. She immediately grabbed and put on the necklace and blushed. Elsewhere, when Lopter returned to the palace, Alexis came to Lopter and suggested that he exchange cups with Yudo. Therefore, Lopter would easily kill the Patriarch of the Wolf Clan, Yudo. Lopter accepted Alexis' offer. The story continued. This time the story is in the real world of Mitsuki's life. Mitsuki, Yudo's close friend, appears to tell Ruri what Yudo experienced. Coincidentally, Ruri has a cousin who is studying abroad majoring in archaeology. It is known that Ruri's cousin is very smart and happens to be on holiday in Japan. Hearing this made Mitsuki want to meet Ruri's cousin. Ruri's cousin is called Takao Saya. Takao Saya was also interested in the story about Yudo. Then Mitsuki told her everything she knew about Yudo and Yggdrasil. After summing everything up, Saya said that Yudo was in Norse mythology. Saya even said that Yudo was the one who created this myth, because there are many similarities that Yudo experiences with Norse mythology or the Ragnarok story. In Yggdrasil, Yudo has the nickname Evil Wolf or Fenrir. Meanwhile, Steinpor, who uses a hammer, can be called Thor, and Thor himself once fought against Jormungandr, a person who was able to sweep the land with a flood. Even in fairy tales, there is a giant figure named Shrug who will destroy the 9 worlds. However, Su itself is an abbreviation of Su-Yuto. Then another similarity is that Su's wife's name is the same as Mitsuki's Sinara. Hearing this explanation made Mitsuki shudder because she knew that the end of Fenrir and Jormungandr were dead. However, Saya tried to calm him down and asked Mitsuki to think that it was just a myth and it could be that what actually happened was different. After that, Mitsuki said goodbye to go home. In Yggdrasil, Yudo tried to contact Mitsuki several times but never picked up. This then made Yuto a little annoyed because usually Mitsuki immediately picked up the phone when he called. He walked out of the room grumbling. Suddenly, Scarvis called him. Finally, Yudo invited Scarvis to drink together because he happened to have something to say. After pouring the drink, Yudo thanks Scarvis for his hard work all this time. Then Yudo asks Scarvis to hit him because when fighting the Panther Clan, their wall could be penetrated by the Panther Clan because of his hesitation. Scarvis also said no one blamed Yudo because the Wolf Clan could be like this thanks to him, so the Wolf Clan felt lucky to have a patriarch like him. Elsewhere, Felicia gathered the Enhyders and invited them to make a gift for Yudo. The other girls were also excited because they wanted to give something as their thanks. They worked together to start sewing and making robes and headbands with a special wolf logo for their beloved patriarch. Arriving at Mitsuki's house, she immediately contacted Yuto and told him what she had just heard. But Mitsuki tells Yudo that it's just a possibility and that Seiya will find out more. That night while in town, Yudo met Christina and Albertina. He saw a commotion in a bar and tried to solve it. But unexpectedly, Yudo met a girl who was similar to Mitsuki, and the girl called him Black. It is known that the girl is a member of the Asher's extended family. The girl's name is Lifa. According to the Lifa twins, she is quite strong and not an ordinary princess. But she is also not a threat to Yudo. Then Yudo invited her to visit his kingdom. Arriving at the kingdom, she was asked questions by Felicia because recently her duties as a bodyguard had been taken over by the twins. Felicia was surprised because Lifa looked so much like Mitsuki. Then Yudo told Lifa how he came to the world of Yggdrasil. Lifa wonders how Felicia could take Yudo, even though she doesn't have strong enough magic. Lifa also said that she still couldn't do it. Yudo was surprised to find out that Lifa was also a magic user. Lifa even told Yudo that she was the owner of the strongest magic. In order to prove it, she bewitched Yudo so he couldn't move. Moreover, Lifa is a twin rune user like Steinpor. The only other owner of that rune besides Steinpor was the divine emperor Sigdriva. Finally, Lifa admitted that she was the 13th divine emperor of the Asper Sigdriva Empire. Felicia and Yudo immediately apologized for their impudence. From Lifa, Yudo learns that he can return to the real world with Sigil's magic, Vimbulfur. Magic that can release something from certain bonds. But it's a shame because Sigil is the bodyguard of Lopter, his main enemy. The next day after celebrating the new year, Felicia gave Yudo a gift that had been prepared by the manager. After wearing the robe and headband that his managers had given him, Yudo told Felicia to prepare a small, relaxed party to celebrate the new year and welcome Lifa's arrival. Felicia agreed and went to prepare. Unexpectedly, the managers were greedy about eating the food and even got drunk from drinking too much. However, Lifa said she was happy with this small party because she had never experienced it before. The next day, after carrying out a reconnaissance mission, Christina and Albertina reported that Steinpor had moved with 8,000 Lightning Clan troops to attack the Wolf Clan. Then Yudo immediately asked Felicia to prepare the troops. An army of 12,000 men had been gathered to face the enemy. When Yudo was leaving for war, he said goodbye to Lifa. Lifa said that she had not given Yudo any gifts. After that, Lifa asked Yudo to look down and suddenly kiss Yudo. Everyone there was shocked, including Yudo. Then Lifa explains the kiss was a good luck kiss, a gift from the Divine Emperor. The night before the battle, Yudo and his engineers set a strategy. After much discussion, Yudo decided to use Hansen's strategy to lure the tiger. Ron got the right wing and Scarvis the left wing. Before the battle started, Steinpor was seen planning a strategy. He ordered CLV to guard the back so he could focus on the front. The Lightning Clan began to attack. Felicia and Yudo were surprised to see the formation of the Lightning Clan forming an arrow. It turned out they used an arrow formation and placed Steinpor as the center of the attack. Steinpor was even seen riding a horse and carrying a new weapon. Seeing Steinpor's troops approaching, the Wolf Clan troops began to shoot their arrows. However, Steinpor swiftly opened his iron umbrella and was able to block all the arrows. Yudo was surprised by this tool which he thought was useless. Then Steinpor threw the umbrella and managed to destroy the Wolf Clan's trained fortress. Christina told Yudo that she saw the Lightning Clan troops using iron shields. Yudo finally realized that the Lightning Clan had collaborated with the Panther Clan to attack them. Seeing that his two lines had been attacked by Steinpor, Yudo ordered the rest of his troops to form the Koyaku formation. Then the Lightning Clan troops were alarmed when the Wolf Clan deployed troops from the north with attackers from the south, even starting to attack from behind as well. Knowing that Salvus met Steinpor and asked him to step down. But instead of retreating and being surrounded, Steinpor invited them to keep moving forward. Even Lopter came with his 10,000 troops to join the Lightning Clan. Sigrun and Scarvis must fight against Steinpor to stop him. However, they were overwhelmed and Scarvis was easily defeated by Steinpor. With all his might, Sigrun fought Steinpor many times. She fell but got up and fought Steinpor again. However, when Sigrun started to get tired, Salvus gave news that the Panther Clan had come to attack the Wolf Clan. But Sigrun didn't let that happen. He tried his best to stop it. Yudo, who knew that they were now being surrounded by thousands of enemy troops, was advised by Felicia to retreat. Yudo also realized that if he'd attacked now, then there would be many victims in their area. The men will be slaughtered and the women and children will be sold into slavery. Yudo wouldn't let that happen. Then he decided to go straight to the front row. He tried to fuel the enthusiasm of his troops in the front row, even though it was very risky, but Yudo's fight was successful. The soldiers became enthusiastic again in fighting to protect their beloved Patriarch, leaders who provide prosperity to the country and their families. Finally, the Wolf Clan troops succeeded in repelling the much larger Panther Clan troops. Hearing that Yudo was at the forefront made Steinpor want to attack him. But with all of her might, Sigrun blocked him again. Getting emotional, he injured Steinpor quite badly with the samurai moves taught by Yudo. This forced Steinpor to withdraw from the battle arena. Remembering Scarvis, who fell from the cliff, made Sigrun immediately approach Scarvis. It turned out he was still alive and well. Sigrun swiftly picked up Scarvis and took him to Yudo's place. Seeing his troops being beaten made Lopter even more frustrated. Again, he couldn't beat Yudo. Then Lopter ordered Sigrun to use her magic and open the way for Lopter. Finally, Lopter attacked Yudo alone. When Lopter was about to attack Yudo, Felicia came to block him. However, Lopter had the heart to attack his sister and make Felicia fall. Felicia asked Yudo to leave, but Yudo wouldn't just leave Felicia. Likewise, Lopter won't let Yudo escape. From afar, Sigrun was still casting her magic. However, Lopter underestimated the power of Yudo's sword. However, Yudo, who always practices, is now skilled at using a sword. Because of his persistence, Yudo managed to defeat Lopter and make him faint, but suddenly, Yudo's body faded. Looks like Sigrun used her magic on Yudo. Yudo, who knew he would soon be leaving Yggdrasil, gave his smartphone to Felicia. However, Felicia couldn't stop the magic and Yudo disappeared. Felicia cried hysterically, lamenting Yudo's missing. Yudo reappeared from Mitsuki's elf mirror. Mitsuki ran towards Yudo and hugged him tightly. Mitsuki said that if Yudo came home, he should call first. When provoked about smartphones, Yudo borrowed Mitsuki's smartphone and immediately contacted Felicia, but it turned out that her cell phone was out of reach. It seems that Yudo has completely separated from the world of Yggdrasil. Mitsuki held Yudo's cheeks. She said that Yudo now looks much more handsome and mature. With tears in her eyes, she welcomed Yudo's return. Mitsuki said that she was happy to be able to see and touch him again. On the other hand, Sigrun informed Lopter that Yudo has returned to the real world. Hearing this certainly made Lopter angry because he wanted to kill Yudo. Sigrun explained that she did this because she didn't want to see her husband Lopter hurt. Lopter would then take revenge on the Wolf Clan. Likewise, at Steinpor's place, he seemed shocked to hear the news that Yudo had disappeared. Salda said that now the Wolf Clan had nothing to fear anymore. Felicia, who had arrived at the kingdom, explained the incident to Sigrun. She said that the magic that bound Yudo in this world had been released by Sigrun, a witch from the Panther Clan. Sigrun also asked Felicia to find a way to bring Yudo back again. Suddenly, Albertina broke in to report that the Panther Clan and Lightning were on the move to attack. In the real world, Yudo has now returned to living a normal life. That day, he and Mitsuki went shopping together. They choose clothes for Yudo. However, because in the real world, Yudo is an unemployed teenager, he looks for clothes at the cheapest prices. After resting for a while, they continue their shopping trip. Seeing the crowd in the mall, Yudo was silent for a moment and remembered the market moment in Yggdrasil. It cannot be denied that he misses the world of Yggdrasil. Yudo offers Mitsuki to choose clothes because he will give them. At first, Mitsuki refused because she knew that Yudo didn't have much money. However, Yudo said that it was an expression of his gratitude because Mitsuki was willing to wait for him for 3 years. Mitsuki blushed and they started looking for the item that Mitsuki wanted. Returning to Yggdrasil, Sigrun took over to lead the war. Felician also asked Sigrun not to die during the war because currently she was the only one capable of leading the Wolf Clan temporarily. Knowing the chaos, Christina asked Lifa for help. Christina said that Yudo had returned due to Sigrun's magic. She also explained that Sigrun was one of the 3 powerful witches in Yggdrasil. Then Lifa said that the only person who could penetrate her secret magic and return Yudo was herself. Hearing this, Christina begged Lifa to help her. The news finally reached Linnea. However, her bodyguard said that Yudo died because of the war. Linnea's bodyguard also said that Yudo's departure was a golden opportunity for them to take over the Wolf Clan. However, Linnea immediately scolded her bodyguard because she would not repay kindness with betrayal. Apart from that, Linnea believed that Yudo was still alive. In the real world, Yudo seemed to enjoy spending time with Mitsuki. They even had a picnic in the park with Mitsuki, bringing lunch for them. Mitsuki fed him the food she had cooked. When he said that Mitsuki's food was delicious, Mitsuki blushed happily. On the way home, Yudo said that he was worried about his troops in Yggdrasil. Suddenly, Mitsuki's cell phone rang. It turned out Ingrid contacted Yuto. When Yuto asked how things were there, Ingrid gave it to Felicia. Felicia apologized to him because she failed to protect Dashina's fortress. They also lost to the Panther and Lightning clans. Then they made it back to Larnvisser. Hearing this, Yuto wanted to know how Sigrun was doing. Then Sigrun answered Yuto's phone call. He also apologized that apart from surrendering the Dashina fort, she also lost many troops. However, Yuto said that this was his fault because he disappeared. Yuto asked Felicia if she could call Yuto back to Yggdrasil. Felicia said that Lifa could help, but it all came back to Yuto's wishes. They respect all of Yuto's decisions. Felicia said that as a younger sibling, she would give up whatever made Yuto happy. Yuto thanked her, and the call ended. Sigrun hugged Felicia and thanked her for being able to look cheerful in front of Yuto. She said she would be a place to lean on if Felicia wanted to cry. Then they hugged and cried. On the other hand, Mitsuki knew that Yuto wanted to return to Yggdrasil to save the Wolf clan. Mitsuki took the elf mirror to a temple and invited Yuto there. She asked Yuto if he wanted to return to Yggdrasil. Even though he didn't confirm, Mitsuki could tell from the look in Yuto's eyes that he really wanted to come back. Yuto said he would be sad if he had to return to Yggdrasil for fear of making Mitsuki worry again. She said Yuto could return to Yggdrasil as long as she was allowed to come along. She said that if she came along, Yuto would no longer have to worry about herself and could focus on the Wolf clan. Initially, Yuto refused Mitsuki's request. Yuto also explained that if they returned to Yggdrasil, they couldn't return to the real world. Yuto also said that Mitsuki still has family and friends who she will miss in the future. However, Mitsuki insisted on going along no matter what happened because she wanted to always be with the person she loved. She didn't want to wait any longer and lose Yuto. She said she had thought carefully about her decision. Yuto added that it is very different from the real world. There is no electricity, water, or gas in Yggdrasil. Mitsuki still insisted and said that even though there was nothing, the most important thing was you. Finally, Yuto gave up and asked Mitsuki to be his wife before going to Yggdrasil. Mitsuki happily accepted Yuto's request and they kissed. In a different scene, it is shown that Yuto has returned to Yggdrasil and is being hailed by the residents. It seems Yuto has succeeded in restoring the glory of the Wolf clan. In fact, it is not only respected by the Wolf clan, but also by the Horn clan. Mitsuki appeared approaching the managers. He introduced her as Sumoya Mitsuki. Lifa approached Mitsuki and said that she was jealous of Mitsuki because she managed to get Yuto's love. On the other side of the road, Sigrun thanks Felicia for bringing Yuto back. This is the end of Hyakuren no Haou to Seiyaku no Valkyria. Thank you so much for staying on this channel and watching our videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep you updated with our latest content. See you in the next video.